Yo, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. It's 9:32 a.m. Pacific time. It's August 16, 2025. Let's begin. One basic truth about Trump's America chills me to the bone. I am back to pondering how in the hell we, because try as I might, I will never understand how thoughtful a caring person who truly loves his or her country would vote for a racist monster and America attacking convicted felon like Donald Trump or any politician who supports him. I can't get past it, but more than that, I refuse to. And let's get this out of the way early. Yes, I understand that the Democratic Party has a image problem right now, but it is preposterous to think that our democracy wouldn't be on far safer footing if they were in charge. It's preposterous to think our environment, women's rights, human rights, rights to healthcare, jobs, and clean air and water would be in jeopardy if Democrats were in charge. It's preposterous to think that measles would be making a comeback, cancer or personal information would be in the hands of some snot-nosed 28-year-old tech bro if Democrats were in charge. I was triggered again today by a classic New York Times clickbait piece headlined, "These are the voters who should scare Democrats most." Subhead, working class Americans who until recently voted Democratic said the party should not count on a backlash to President Trump to win them back. Still, there are pockets of opportunity. The Times talked to 30 predominantly working class voters who supported Mr. Biden in 2020 before defecting on struggling deeply with their choices last year. And many had a stinging message for the Democratic Party. These working class voters are disillusioned by seemingly everything, which I actually understand during all this chaos, even if I'm getting sick and damned of this post term working class. That they think Republicans are doing a single thing for them, except taking more of their money and their rights, is what I don't understand. If you want to say America deserves better from its two major political parties, you have a sympathetic ear. But if you want to say both parties are the same after watching the first 7 months of this morally busted GOP regimen, then you are intellectually lazy, completely dishonest with yourself, racist, or likely some combination of all three. Democrats demonstrably stand up for America's best ideals, liberty and justice for all. Republicans demonstrably stand up for the few, and these bloated billionaires who are currently standing on our throats thanks to the big payday they just got in the galling big beautiful bill. As a as I was researching this piece with a steady grumble, I came across another NYT story written by Thomas B. Edsel, headlined "How Liberalism Went to Die on Texas-Arkansas Border." Edsel's deep dive starts this way: few communities prosper Texarkana during President Biden's 4 years in the White House. A few communities were more ungrateful than the voters of that region, which is anchored around Twin Cities spread across the Texas-Arkansas border. In 2024, in spite of economic growth under a Democratic president at rates unheard of in decades, residents of Texarkana turned around and cast a higher percentage of their ballots for Donald Trump than ever before. Read that again. Read that one again. In 2024, we will read it one more time. Okay, so let's read it one more time. Few communities in America prospered as much as Texarkana during President Joe Biden's 4 years in the White House. A few communities were more ungrateful than the voters of that region, which is anchored around Twin Cities spread across the Texas-Arkansas border. In 2024, in spite of economic growth under a Democratic president at rates unheard of in decades, residents of Texarkana turned around and cast a higher percentage of their ballots for Donald Trump than ever before. Read that one again. What the hell are we supposed to do with this? What the hell is a politician or a political party supposed to do? If not providing the voters with better opportunities to improve their lives, what the hell is a politician or a political party supposed to do if they are penalized for that? More from that piece. During the 4 years from January 2021 to January 2025, the years of Biden's presidency, the unemployment rate in Texarkana metropolitan area fell to 4.2% from 6.8%. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the metro region's gross domestic product had experienced sluggish growth from 2010, a 5 billion point zero four in dollars, $5.04 billion. Through 2020, $5.8 billion. After Biden took office, however, the region's GDP shot up, reaching $7.2 billion in 2023, the most recent figure available at Federal Reserve. And what did Biden and Democrats get for all this? In 2020, Texarkana, which is made up of Miller County, Arkansas, and Bowie County, Texas, voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump, 72% to 27.7% for Biden. Again, 72.3% for Trump, and then 27.7% for Biden. A 44.6 point margin. In 2024, despite the growth of green industry and economic improvement during the Biden years, Trump beat Kamala Harris in Texarkana counties with 75.4% of the vote and 25.6% for Harris, an immense 50.8 point margin. He actually lost votes. It really is mind-blowing. It's not the economy, stupid. We have just passed the 8th anniversary of the repulsive Charlottesville chapter of our country's history that is forever chained to its original sin. Thousands of white men marched on this Virginia city and for white supremacy on August 11, 12 on August 11 to 12, 2017. In something called Unite the Right. Rally replete their toxic hate and tiki torches for effect. On the second day of his ode to hate, James Alex Fields Jr., a self-proclaimed admirer of Adolf Hitler, plowed his car into the crowd which had assembled to peacefully oppose the racist hell that had arrived on their streets. Young activist and daughter of Charlottesville, Heather Heyer, was killed instantly, and scores of others were injured by the speeding vehicle. I've learned many have not fully physically recovered, and still more are suffering from the psychological impact of that day. Trump, a career racist who only a year earlier couldn't garner the endorsement of a single major newspaper during his dirty run for the presidency, but did get a ringing nod from the KKK, could not bring himself to properly condemn the gruesome, instead extolled the virtues of the very fine people on both sides of this terrorist attack. Like his surrender to Vladimir Putin in Helsinki the following year, it will always be impossible to unhear or unsee these appalling events. Joe Biden has said it was the revolting incident in Charlottesville that spurred him to run for the presidency 3 years later, because he too knew he could not live with himself or in a country that promoted this kind of detestable hate. Which brings me full circle in my reckoning with a country predominated by people who are impossible to love or respect. I believe what happened on this tragic day in Charlottesville 8 years ago explains better than anything else what the good people who believe in liberty and justice for all in this country are up against. It certainly explains what is happening in Washington, D.C. right now in yet another quaking moment. Because even if you disagree with everything I have typed here today, you damn well better understand this. Trump didn't invade or Capitol again because there is some invented crime problem, just as he didn't invade it 4 years ago because there was some invented election problem. He did it because times to throw red meat to his racist base who elected him across the country. He did it to appease the people who live in ungodly places like that Texas-Arkansas border, who or but mostly the people of color who live in them. And I just can't get past it. But more than that, I refuse to. Again, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you for joining. It's until next time. I'll see you on the next video. I'll see you on the next YouTube video. And of course, it's until next time.